Hey you guys, what's up? It's Desi from the Free Spirited Nurse, and today I'm finally here with my long-awaited video about my miraDry procedure. I had miraDry back in June, and I told you guys that I would tell you all about the procedure. I wanted to give you guys a 3 months update, but I didn't get to it. So here I am 5 months later to tell you all about my miraDry. What is miraDry? So miraDry is a procedure done to dramatically reduce underarm sweat and odor. It is permanent, immediate results, and it's non-surgical. The science behind miraDry. Let me read it from the website. The miraDry system uses thermal energy that targets and eliminates sweat and odor glands in your underarms. Once these glands are eliminated, they do not grow back. Goodbye, sweat stains. The treatment is clinically proven to have an average of 82% sweat reduction and an average of 89% odor reduction. According to miraDry, most patients describe the procedure as painless with little to no downtime. Most patients report that they are able to return to regular activities like work, and exercise is typically resumed in a few days. After miraDry, you will experience the many benefits of reducing sweat in the underarm area, but you will continue to sweat normally in other areas of your body. Want to know if miraDry lives up to its claims? Well, continue watching and I will share my experience. This video is not sponsored. I paid for miraDry myself, and I'm here to share my experience with miraDry 5 months later. Why I chose miraDry? I decided to choose miraDry because for a long time I suffered from boils to my underarms, which are caused by folliculitis or ingrown hair. The only way I could get rid of these boils is by having a minor surgical procedure, which is draining them out. I would have to go to the ER or urgent care multiple times a year to have those drained out, and it was extremely painful. So finally, I went to see one doctor, and she told me, she did the drainage procedure, and she told me to switch my deodorant to aluminum-free deodorant. So I did that. So from 2013 until now, I only use non-antiperspirant deodorant. Now, if you know, antiperspirant reduces the sweating to your underarms, so that's why most of us wear it, so we don't have to sweat. And I'm not a major sweater, but in the summertime, because I did not use antiperspirant, I would sweat a lot. Hence why I got this procedure in June. So I was doing some research about what could I do to reduce the sweating, because it was just like really bad, and sweat comes with odor. So I did a lot of research, and I found Botox injections, and I was willing to do that, but they cost over $1,000 and it's not permanent. I would have to do it over and over again. So I did not do the Botox injections because doing my research, I also stumbled across miraDry procedure. So the miraDry procedure was made for people who suffers from hyperhidrosis, which is excessive sweating to the underarms. So I ran across that procedure and I did a lot of research, and I was like, I think I want to get this done. I looked on the miraDry website and I found a few physicians in the area, and I called around, and the price range that I got was between $1,500 and $2,400. So I decided to settle for one that was able to get me in on the days that I was already off, and I paid $1,900 for the procedure. For me, the procedure took about an hour and a half. They started off with lidocaine injections. You get lidocaine injections to your underarm. It was just very small pinches to your underarm, and you get about 5 of them, and they didn't hurt at all. For me, on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say about a 1 or 2, and it's really quick. So you should be able to tolerate that. But that is the hardest part about miraDry. And then after that, they use a microwave technology to your underarm, which takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And that microwave technology is actually killing the sweat glands. That part of the procedure was extremely painless and extremely comfortable. I was talking to the technician that was doing it, and I had absolutely no problems. They did one side, and then they put ice pack, and then they did the other side, and then they did the ice pack. So in total, it took about an hour and a half from intake to leaving the facility. Because of my history of folliculitis and boils to my underarm, my doctor prescribed me a short regimen of antibiotics. That is not standard for miraDry. My doctor just wanted to take precautions because of my medical history. So if you decide to go get miraDry, do not expect your doctor to give you an antibiotic. He only did that because of my history. So when I went home, they actually sent me home with ice packs and told me to take Motrin around the clock. So I took about over-the-counter Motrin, and I really kept myself medicated according to the instructions on the Motrin bottle or the ibuprofen bottle. And the lidocaine wore off in about 5 hours per procedure, and I would say that was probably the most painful part, but I kept myself medicated, so I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst, I would say it was about, the pain was about a 3-4, and it was definitely tolerable, and the only time you really feel the pain is when you're applying pressure to the area. You have to continue to apply ice packs all day for the first 24 hours post-procedure. The pain lasted for about 15 to 18 hours, and after that I was free to move about like normal. So that same day I went out, got some food, I was driving with no problem, and 2 days later I was able to go to, no, not 2 days later, a day later on Saturday. So my procedure was on Thursday, and on Saturday I was able to go to a parade outside, and I was jumping around and having fun. It was still some swelling to my underarm, but the pain was dramatically reduced, the discomfort was dramatically reduced. I still apply ice packs periodically, but not all day every day like I was the first day. For me, I would say I only needed about 1 to 2 days off. After that, after I took Thursday, I did a procedure on Thursday. Saturday, if I wanted to, I was able to resume working because I was not in much pain. So I would say about 1 to 2 days off and you should be fine. 5 months later, how am I doing? 5 months later, I'm actually doing amazing, and I definitely recommend miraDry. I do feel that miraDry lived up to its claim. I don't sweat. I actually feel like my sweat has been reduced by about 90-95%. Odor has been reduced dramatically. Like, I don't have much odor at all. My sister, I know this is gross, but my sister actually put her nose to my underarms. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't smell anything. Absolutely nothing. So odor for me has been almost eliminated. As far as hair growth, that was one of my favorite things about miraDry. Since I had miraDry, it did reduce the hair growth to my underarms, and I only had to shave maybe about 3 times since procedure. So that is amazing. So I would say miraDry is thebomb.com. As far as wearing deodorant, I still wear deodorant here and there, and that's just for fragrance. I still use a non-antiperspirant deodorant, aluminum-free deodorant, because I'm not sweating much. I don't feel the need to put a sweat blocking agent to my underarm. And currently I use Tom's or I use Dove aluminum-free deodorant. Since I had the procedure, I probably wore deodorant maybe about 10 times, and that was when I was going out. Maybe I wore it when I went to the Labor Day parade in New York. I wore it when I went to Florida A&M homecoming, and any high energy time when I'm partying, jumping around. Those are reasons, or I'm gonna do a presentation where I get nervous. Those are the times that I would wear deodorant. I would say less than 10 times in 5 months have I applied non-antiperspirant deodorant. All in all, I would say miraDry procedure was amazing. I definitely recommend it again. I did pay about $1,900, and for me it was well worth it. I definitely recommend it for anybody who's having sweating issues. Most people only need 1 procedure, but you may need 2, and that is okay. Most places that you go to, if you need a second procedure, they charge you a discounted rate. So my doctor, I paid $1,900, and if I needed to have a second procedure, it was only $900 or $1,000. I can't remember. But as of right now, I'm not sweating much. It's been approximately 5 months, and I'm not having any issues with odor and sweating, so I don't feel that I need to have a second procedure. As far as all the research that I've done, I did not run across anybody who had a second procedure, although there are some people who might need it, especially if you're a major sweater before the procedure, then you might want to have a second procedure. For me, I think 1 should be fine, so I'm 1 and done. miraDry has worked amazing for me. I'm extremely happy. I have not had any major complications. I'm thoroughly happy with miraDry. Definitely recommend it for anybody who's having these type of issues, and that's basically all. If you have any questions regarding miraDry, feel free to comment down below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, and I'll probably keep you guys updated on my Instagram story, but I will come back on YouTube and probably do a 1-year post-procedure review. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you decide to go for miraDry. It is definitely a great procedure, and if you have the money, go for it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Deuces.